Shalom. First and foremost, we'll say, Kolim Yahweh Shema Kakodash. The bonus the other apostles be no slow GMS will do will teach well. I'm just gonna make this quick. He just came from the GMS camp out there on Thursdays. Bloody Yahweh Shema made it home, safe and sound. And I just want to do this quick lesson and into the point. Verse 13, you do with great wonders so they make fire come down from heaven on the earth and the sight of men. You're talking about America, right? The beast, America, NATO, and the EU. You read up ahead and all that, right? But this is talk about these atomic missiles, atomic bombs that came down Hiroshima, Nagasaki, fat man, a little boy. Which those things have become icons, to the point, what's the game called Metal Gear Solid 2? They actually have a boss named after the fat man, and he actually bombs. He actually uses bombs. He's like a bomb expert. So very famous. And Buzz was talking about that during camp, and it's gave me inspiration to make this video. And let's get the article. Made me think of this, right? Mutually assured destruction, right? Because when those missiles, were, made eventually, you had different strategists and people make security policies and everything so that, they would try to avert World War III. But, we don't have the heart, these king's hearts in the hand of the Lord, so, you're going to have these, different, demons on these people, and he's going to make it happen where they're going to launch it. So you're going to manipulate these different kings, and have them, these different nations, and they're going to do it in World War III. They're not going to quit, right? So mutually assured destruction is pretty much obvious. We're not going to go deep into it because it's not necessary. I'm going to read more about my own time. Maybe I'll make another lesson. The concept of man had been discussed in literature for nearly a century before the invention of nuclear weapons. One of the early references come from the English author Walter Collins, writing at the time of the Franco-Prussian War in 1870. I begin to believe in only one civilizing influence, discovery of one of these days of a terrible agent, so terrible that war shall mean annihilation, and men's fears will force them to keep the peace. Right? And that's, the missile, the atomic bomb, and that's been keeping, nations in fear, of not using these weapons and not resorting to using these weapons again, because once they saw what happened to Hiroshima and Nagasaki, for a long time America had a stranglehold over the world, with the nuclear missiles, and then their ability to proliferate, and also their ability to stop other nations from moving them around, so you get the whole Bay of Pigs thing. I think that was the reason, why they sent special forces or some shit in there, because they didn't want Russia to be able to put nuclear missiles in, Cuba. Use that as a strategic base to launch missiles at the United States. Yeah. We don't really gotta read the rest. But pretty much talks about these different weapons. Going to the futility of war, things like that. Which these wars these people have been fighting, they're all futile. They're just fighting for, dumb shit. They're really just fighting because the bankers wanted them to. They're just fighting for money, for crime. That's all you soldiers do nowadays. You basically fight to maintain the bankers' balance sheets and shit. But, just want to go into that one. We could get one. So the book of Isaiah 55 and 8, 9. For my thoughts not your thoughts, neither your ways my ways, said the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts higher than my thoughts than your thoughts. So all these different researchers and people, I was just skimming the article, whatever, but it just wasn't necessary. This is the point, they basically said, like, another part of the mutually assured destruction theory is that because these nations have missiles, right, they'll basically be in fear of using them, because then they'll be afraid that they'll be retaliated against. So it's like, that's supposed to keep, the nations in check and keep them from just, outright destroying each other. But the Most High is going to put that spirit on them in that day and in that time for them to be just so fed up. They're just like, yo, fuck it, we doing it. We going down. We know that Europe and 10 horn shall heat, the horn shall burn with fire. NATO and the EU are going to turn on America. They're already dealing with division with this whole Israel thing. They're dealing with division with the Ukraine thing. And man, maybe this thing with China and Taiwan, when that blows over, maybe something with China and Japan, maybe that will be, the final thing, which really just make it more apparent, But I think that's pretty much it. Lord willing, edified, inshallah. Not saying that, that's going to cause World War III immediately. We're in a form of World War III right now, but talking about overt warfare, we haven't seen that yet. We're not in that time period yet. We got some time. Got some things that has to come first. But just saying, maybe that will, be the next thing that'll pop up. Of course, Jacob Trouble has to come first. And MLTB has to be out there. Lord, shalom.